Welcome back to the Mowers Club with Scope and Missile. Thanks to Winghouse, the best seats and beers always guaranteed. All right, Scope, you've lined up a very special guest this morning.
Yeah, I said it at the top of the show. Got a really big guest, a really good friend of mine that I'll let everyone know about on the Mowers anytime I get an opportunity, SEN. The great and powerful 294 gamer, Kieran Foran from the Gold Coast Titans. Thanks for joining us, brother.
G'day, guys.
You like that intro, Fossey? And by the way, mate, yeah, you like the intro?
Yeah, you had me laughing already, Hozzy.
Mate, but I mentioned it last night. I was calling the game with Jimmy Smith here for SEN. 294 games. It's been quite a journey, mate. Dating all the way back to sort of the mid-2010s where you had a lot of injuries and a few setbacks. You must be super proud of sort of where you are now and then more so where this Titans team is. It looks like they're going in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, certainly, mate. It's been a long career to date, and really, really proud of the way in which I've hung in there and fought back from, some really, I guess, long-term injuries and setbacks. So that's been pleasing. But as you said, really enjoying my time up here on the Gold Coast and building something special with the club up here. It's been wonderful so far, and I hope everyone's seen the effort that we're putting in and the way in which we want to really make our community proud and achieve something special up here.
Just on the Titans, Foz, big turnaround, sort of that midpoint to now sort of 2/3 of the way through the season. Has it taken time for the players to adjust to Desi? You've been with him at a number of clubs. Have you noticed that at other clubs, or is this a unique situation?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think there was a bit of a teething process there. When Des first came in, obviously he brings so much information in and strategy and things like that. And I think probably for us that first 6 or 7 rounds was nutting that out and feeling comfortable in that space. And I think the guys have really grown into that now, and you can see they're just soaking it all up and really embracing it. And, you can just see their footy IQ going through the roof, mate, since he's arrived, and it's been really great to watch and see their development, and you can sort of see it coming to fruition now. I think in the middle part of the year, as we sort of make a late charge, hopefully we can win some games and like I said, see if we can scrape into the 8.
Is a big part of that. I know Desi is big on numbers and stats and all that kind of stuff. Is part of that the players learning how to digest that and I guess take that on board in terms of feedback and criticism?
For sure, yeah, no doubt that Des throws so much at you. His footy program is very demanding, both from a physical standpoint and also a mental standpoint, and I think it was, I guess a big change for this club and these guys, and a lot of them are, young up-and-coming footballers that haven't been involved in the game for all that long. And, you could, like I said, that mate, they were absolutely loving it, from the get-go. It probably just took a little bit of time just to digest it and understand the style of footy and the footy club that Des wants us to become. And like I said, I think you can start to see it now starting to come to fruition.
Yeah, I want to speak a little bit about some of these younger guys in the next 5 or 10 minutes as well, Foz. But a guy that's sort of been around for a while now, had a setback last year. I know you're a big fan of him, and he really helps out what you're trying to do on the right edge. He played centres last night, but he's a back rower by trade. Boas For-Mo. Tell us a little bit about him, mate. We were all watching before the game. It was all David Fafita watch with regards to Origin. But, gee, I tell you what, Boas For-Mo's having a good year, mate, and he's another guy that I think his name should be in contention for Origin as well.
Yeah, he's spot on. Look, since the day I arrived at the club, Bo has just he's amazed me in his mental fortitude. He is a guy who has so much mental strength, and he has battled, I think, 2 ACL injuries now, and the way in which he's applied himself to come back from those, he's never stayed down for too long. He's always just fought his way back. And, incredibly tough guy, tough individual, both physically and mentally. And he just puts so much into his craft, and he's versatile. He can play back row and centre, both equally as well. And as you saw last night, his desperation to save some tries was quite incredible. And yeah, he's a guy that he's a rep player, no doubt in the future. I can see him playing for Queensland in this next game. If it's not this next game, it'll certainly be in the years to come. And yeah, he's a special one, mate.
Who do you support in State of Origin?
I go for the Blues.
Yeah, nice. Is that a little bit awkward at times, being up in southeast Queensland?
Yeah, at times, mate. Yeah, surrounded by plenty of Queensland boys up here. But yeah, look, when I moved over from New Zealand, spent the majority of my time in New South Wales. So yeah, we vote for the Blues in this household.
What about some of the youngsters, mate? Specifically, Keanu Kinney. I want to start with Keanu Kinney for a number of reasons. The form's been outstanding in the last couple of weeks. But I feel like once Desi arrived, he had to figure out the situation between or surrounding Keanu Kinney, Jaden Campbell, and AJ Brimson, because they're all three quality fullbacks. But unfortunately, you can only have one on the field, mate. And it's been a bit of a juggling act. I know Jaden and Brimo were missing last night. But Keanu Kinney in his form and that juggling act that Desi's been trying to balance and trying to find the best possible lineup with all three potentially involved.
Yeah, well, look, if you go back historically and look at Des as a coach and you have a look at what he's been able to do with fullbacks over his career, there's a bit of a trend there. And I think Des, because of his IQ and, as I said, his footy program and the amount of information that he pours into his footy teams, the fullbacks actually cop the brunt of that. Because a lot of his defensive structures are built around the number one. And so there was no doubt with Des coming in that our fullbacks in the club were going to flourish. I always thought that. And Keanu is a perfect example of that. You know, a young guy starting out his game, obviously extremely naturally gifted and talented. But you throw Des into the club and you pour in the IQ that Des has into Keanu. And I mean, I'll vouch for everyone in the club. This kid has just grown immensely. I mean, if you have a look at not just what he's doing on a footy field, but the way in which he's organising the defensive line, where he's popping up. And that's just the way in which he's applied himself under Des's program. And, mate, it's been super to watch. He is an amazing talent, and I've got the biggest raps on this young man, both as a person and as a footballer. I believe the sky's the limit for him. What he could achieve in his career. And look, in terms of the juggling act, it's something that you need in successful footy clubs, don't you? You need depth. And where everyone plays remains to be seen. And Des, you know, will work that out as time goes on. But I've got no doubt in my mind that Keanu will be there somewhere, certainly for the rest of this year. And we'll work around it and shuffle the cards and work out where everyone's best suited. But look, he's doing himself no harm in terms of the performances that he's putting in. I think it'd be pretty difficult to leave him out at this stage.
Does your best 17 have Campbell, Kinney and Brimson all three in there?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it's hard. I guess it's how you want to carry your bench as well, and how you want to structure your spine. But I mean, geez, when all three of those guys are firing, I mean, they're elite players, aren't they? You know, some of the best in the competition at pulling defensive teams apart. So, yeah, it's a wonderful headache for us as a club to have and for Des to have as a coach. But I guess he'll sit down with his other assistants and sort of work out the best plan moving forward.
You got a new player at the club this week, young Carter Gordon. Have you been tasked with mentoring Carter and, I guess, helping his transition across to rugby league?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Along with the other coaches, you know, I'll take him under my wing and try and fast track his development into rugby league as quick as we can. He's a really lovely young man, and he popped into training for the first time this week, and he was straight into it, and he fitted in seamlessly. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to take him too long at all. He seems like a really athletic guy who understands the game well, and he's got all the attributes that for mine, you know, will suit rugby league. So yeah, it's probably just working with him, not putting too much pressure on him too early, and allowing him to find his groove and work out, you know, I guess, structures and positions work for him best and work for the team.
Is he a bigger body, Foz? I've seen Desi was saying he's about 6'1", 6'2". Is that
Is
right?
he?
Yeah, because in the
Mate,
pictures...
I think he's about 6'3". Yeah,
Well,
he's tall. Yeah.
The pictures don't do him justice. He doesn't look as big for whatever reason in some of the stuff that I'd seen. But yeah, Desi mentioned that he was over 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a tall build. Quite lean. He'll obviously stack on some muscle once he gets into this league program and bulks up a bit. But yeah, he's, like as I said, he looks really fit, really fast, athletic, and he fitted in seamlessly to training the other day, which was great.
I want to get to the forward pack now, mate. I've noticed, speaking of height, I feel like the league is sort of trending the opposite way. Smaller bodies, guys that are more mobile in the modern game. And I've got a couple examples for you guys. Aaron Clark, who started off as a hooker, moved to lock. He's now playing front row for you. I love, is it Pahulu coming off the bench? Josiah coming off the bench for you. And I think one of the most underrated players and the most improved players in the competition right now is Chris Randall. He was outstanding again last night, mate. Tell us a little bit about sort of do you feel like the game is, with all the rule changes, moving towards that small ball? And a couple of those players that I mentioned, mate, I thought they've been great for you over the last month.
Yeah, I do, Hoz. I do believe that. I think that our forward pack is as you said, probably slightly. We've got shorter builds and probably more stockier builds in our pack. And for some reason, I think that's working for us at the moment. I think that those guys are extremely hard to pull to the ground. Those individuals that you mentioned are super strong in the gym and on the field. So they really, I think, can take advantage of that quicker ruck speed and punching in there. Josiah Pulu is another enormous talent for a young guy. He's worked tirelessly throughout this last pre-season and into the season, and he's a guy that's really stepped up for us, and he's just going to continue to grow. He's only, I think, 19 or 20, and the way in which he's taking on fully fledged front rowers from opposition teams is super to see. And Aaron Clark, he's been great, mate. He's become a real leader of our forward pack. Obviously having guys like Tino out for extended periods and Jamin Jolliffe, and Aaron's really taken it upon himself, along with Mo Fodawaker, to become leaders of that pack, which has been great for his development. And Chris Randall has, I think, grabbed that 13 position with both hands. He's good there.
Foz, off air, I'm going to dob scope in here. He reckons the best. He reckons the best edge of the NRL era was Horo, Foran, Matai, and Tafua. Tells me every day.
Well, it could have been if I wasn't on that edge.
He's spot on, mate. He's spot on.
He reckons he didn't have to do too much tackling because he had you and Matai next to him who could both hit in defence.
Geez, Georgie and Stevie made it easy for us, didn't they, Fozzie?
Yeah,
More so for me.
They did, mate. Yeah, no one wanted to run to our edge because of Stevie Matai and George Tafua, so we didn't have to do too much tackling during those couple of years. But Hoz downplays it, mate. He was outstanding to play alongside. He was a great player, and yourself, Hozzy, you love punching a hole.
That's a great way to finish, mate. You give me a little bit of a wrap at the end. I really appreciate you coming on after a big victory, mate. All the best for the rest of the season. Feel like the Titans are really flowing, and looking forward to seeing you notch that 300th, mate.
Re-sign with the Titans. We all want you back, Foz.
Yeah, I might have to go around again. I think I'm enjoying it too much.
Love that, mate.
All the best
for the rest of the season, Fozzie. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, guys. See ya.